why it's doing all this. All right, we live. We live.
We live.
Yes, sir.
What's the word?
You on a book with it too, bro?
Yeah, Facebook too. So you could go to my Facebook and share it. I was trying to see if we was gonna do
It sure is live. Yep,
you see it?
I see it.
I see it live on your Facebook.
I'm finna
What else you on? You on YouTube too? You said.
yeah, YouTube. I'm finna drop the link in our chat. Well actually, you know what? No, I gotta do this. Live. Ooh, there it is. Okay. Ooh, there it is. Okay.
We got action.
Ooh, there it is. Okay. Oh, it's gonna echo. Hold on.
We got action.
There it is. Okay. Oh. All right. Got it. Paste.
We can't see Jay Clark.
He off camera right now. He probably doing something else on his phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's on YouTube live. My
I
fault.
just sent it in the chat.
Oh, the YouTube.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I see YouTube too. Yep.
So you can share that on
Hell, while y'all doing all that, can they? They can't see that, can they?
what?
Never mind.
He got going.
Oh
I'm
goodness.
just throwing this on my story. I'm good. Y'all want to kick it off
You
with
driving nowhere?
Trump first couple of weeks though? We got anybody in here?
You can't see the little joint. Oh, four people watching. 6 people.
They say you can share the link too. Share it on the snap. God,
I just put it on my story. Shit.
I just sent it to you. There's,
All right, I'm good. I'm back on.
yeah, we got to talk. Shit, let's
All right.
get into it.
All right. So,
First couple weeks.
well, first, I kind of want to tell folk what the purpose of this is. Like,
Go ahead and lay it out for me.
so I essentially got the idea because I see a lot, right? At first I wasn't never like big in politics, but I see a lot living in DC, working in DC, working political events like last week I literally worked a Republican event one day and then went to a Democratic event the following day. So like I see a lot, and what I'm seeing in real life, real time, ain't matching what I'm seeing on the internet. And so like I wanted to offer a platform because instead of us all doing it individually, because I see us we all having our choosing our moments to have our little small, debates and battles on Facebook or whatever platform it is to say our point, to give our perspective and help people understand why we think the way we do and why our perspective is the way it is. And so in doing that, I thought it was a good idea for us to come together and be able to share our perspective based on like where we are as black men, husbands, fathers, like workers in the United States, just what our perspective is. So I thought it would make sense for us to come together and even offer opportunity for other people to come up on here and ask questions, have conversation about the current presidency, about Donald Trump, about Elon Musk, about just things that are happening in our country, rapid changes that are happening because we see, like, all of us see like we talked about it earlier in the chat, all of us see the fear mongering that's happening with the news outlets and the media outlets and social media places and groups and all of that stuff. We seeing all of this stuff happen that's not really accurate. At least I am. I'm sure y'all are, but I can only speak for myself. But seeing all of that, I thought it would make sense for us to come on here and have a chat, have a conversation. So with that, Denzel.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's important everybody understand what's going on, and just I'm glad people are paying attention to politics finally. You know, that's a positive thing to see. But I do think people should be more informed on both sides of what's happening and try to make informed decisions on what they're seeing and what's going on. And I would stray away from being tied to just one party or one way of thinking. You know, you got to be open, you know, to different ideas. I didn't always think how I think now. This was a process of me moving to 7 different states, and living in DC for a minute, living in Tennessee for a minute, living in Georgia, living in Wisconsin, living in Texas, you know, working with politicians, seeing who's serious and who's not serious. You know, with all that being said, I've come to an understanding now of what's important. And I'm not ever going to say that I'm going to put the priorities of people that aren't American citizens over people that are American citizens. I'm set the tone by saying that. My ancestors fought and died for this country. They've been on this soil for 300 plus years. I got documentation that says they have. So therefore, my interests are in this country. So I'm going to operate as if my interests were in this country. And I would suggest anybody else that has interest in this country, as a citizen, they do the same. And I'll pass to Jay Clark. But no, bro, you want to go ahead and kick it off?
I think we all on here for similar reasons. I'm just like, I'm tired of the false information. Like, I know you said that you see us all pick our battles and whatnot, but I'm usually like, I'm not defending one side or another. I'm just looking to relay the facts. Like, I don't really care about the feelings and how it makes you feel or what happened in that regard. Like, I'm just looking for what actually happened, and then we can have a conversation. If we can't get to the facts of what actually happened, and we can't even, you know what I'm saying, decipher the truth from there, like, if we gonna start from a place of emotion and ignore the facts, and then we'll never get to a solution. So a lot of time I'm on the book, on social media, like interacting with people in regards to politics. I'm usually just saying, okay, that's not what happened, or that's not how that situation should be interpreted. This is what they meant by that. This is what the policy actually means. It's not like, you know, especially when it comes to immigration, because it's a sensitive topic, especially in like the Latino community from my hometown and whatnot. Like, it's a lot of misinformation going around with that, but it's also a lot of truth to it. Like, speaking with my mom specifically, there was a lot of like, we kind of took a fishnet approach to the immigration through the executive office. We took like a fishnet, just cast a wide net. So it is a lot of, I think, fear from the Latino community and immigrants who were here, you know, before all of this went down. But I say to them, like, if you're not doing nothing wrong, like, if you're not a criminal, if you're not out here breaking the law, you shouldn't have too much to worry about. But you know what I'm saying? If you an illegal immigrant and you driving in a car and you get pulled over, you at risk, especially if you're not in a sanctuary state, sanctuary city. So, you know, it is a lot of misinformation going around, but in the same breath, because of how things were rolled out, you know what I'm saying? I do empathize with the Latino community specifically, because some of them may be kind of caught off guard by it, but you know what I'm saying?
Well, I know a lot of that is because the price right now, they, believe it or not, in spite of what the certain outlets are saying, there is a priority of immigrants that they are focusing on right now.
Yeah.
Their priority is criminals. Anybody that committed a crime, either committed a crime and hasn't paid taxes.
But with that comes collateral. So if you happen to be with a criminal when they getting arrested and they run your paperwork, and you know, they find out you illegal, they're gonna take you too. Now, I believe that if you've been here like 10 plus years, but one, why ain't you a citizen yet? What process has been held up to where you're not a citizen? You know, I would ask that question.
See, but, and I got a friend, just pause real quick. I got a friend that a coworker that I work with. He's not from here. He got his citizenship fast. He's been here for about, I forget how long, maybe about 6-7 years, but started the process for his citizenship, and it took maybe a year and a half. Because he was able he was able to lay all of his stuff. I paid this much in taxes. I did this. I bought this property here. Here's all of my stuff. And process went.
So quick. if you've been here 5+ years, that's what I'm saying. You're not even really trying.
Now, some people, don't get me wrong. Some people, it is a strenuous process.
Yeah. It can be, but I think if there's paperwork, like there's documentation to show that you tried, then obviously that's a different situation.
Yeah.
They shouldn't just be throwing them people on planes. But it's people that's been here that ain't even attempted. They know they're here illegally. They've got being here illegally. And when we look at spending, like talk about spending, a lot of dollars were spent of taxpayer dollars. Like if you're not mad at nothing else, you should be mad that money that come out of your taxes is going elsewhere, going to places that you don't even know, and then going to people that aren't even citizens.
Yeah.
Like I feel like anybody that's a taxpaying citizen, if you're a working, productive man, woman, you know, whoever, you should be upset about that.
Facts.
But it's a left ideology that I can't make this up, bro. Like I pinpointed a young lady from our hometown. I pinpointed her, like, to really get this answer out, I want to see how she thinks. But she was pretty much adamantly proud of the fact that Illinois is one of the highest tax states in the nation. And she was proud that as citizens of Illinois, we contribute one of the highest dollar amounts to the Fed. Like, she's proud of the fact that we are a high tax state and we contribute more to the Fed than most other states. She was proud of this, bro. So it's a whole ideology on that side that, like,
they also got the most governors in jail.
Hey, talk about it. And, hey, but it's our echo chamber, so I can't, you know, these are people we know and like they just around us, but it is people like, I can't stand a person from Illinois that like is adamant that they know the best about politics. Well, they know who should be best who's the best politician of choice, because we've never done a good job of picking politicians. So like, what makes you think that we have all the facts correct, or that our media and our surrounding environment has all the facts correct to influence us? Like, it would be irresponsible to take things at face value when it comes to Illinois politics or anybody that's represented. New York too, man.
Yeah.
California. Man,
well, the big word I know I've been using with people is bias, right? Like that's the kind of trigger word when it comes to receiving information. If you're receiving information from a biased source, 9 times out of 10, that information is going to be exaggerated or falsified in some way, because there is a motive to mislead you and steer you in the wrong direction for their benefit.
We talk about the bias sources, because they share the same stories and information. MSNBC on the left, MSNBC, ABC. I'll throw Breakfast Club in there from a national perspective.
Well, that's how you know.
On the right, what you got on the right side though? You got Fox,
Newsmax, what?
I looked it up earlier. It was well, here that's the first thing.
So regardless of the fact,
New York Post.
To me, you just got to realize like who you're listening to, or just be conscious that it is a bias. It doesn't mean that one side is right or wrong. Like, you just have to know that this side is going to steer the agenda to make this side appear better. This side.
I don't think a lot of people have realized that yet.
And that's okay. It's okay to get information from both sides. You just gotta
absolutely
realize who's speaking. You know what I mean?
Context matters. And if you don't have context of who's speaking and why they're speaking from that certain perspective, then the information that you're getting from that person, you're gonna put it in places that it doesn't really belong, or that it doesn't really it doesn't associate with. So, like, Denzel, can you share your screen or no? Did you find out how to do that or no?
I can. What you trying to see?
I was looking up something earlier. It's called All Sides Media. They basically show you what platform leans what way and how much.
Let's see if I can. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a little graph.
Yeah, it's a graph, and it's two columns and it's 4 columns or 6 columns, but 2 columns in the middle, or is it 1 column? I think it might be 5 columns. 1 column in the middle, 1 moderately left and right, and then 1 severely left and right. And it shows all of the networks in each column.
Hey, furthermore on immigration, it's a left ideology that legitimately wants open borders, bro. Like, not like they want open borders. Like, they think everybody should just be welcome. And, you know, and that from a humanitarian standpoint, I get it. I don't agree with it at all. But, and then people would be like, oh, Christians, if you're a Christian, how could you not, like, what would Jesus do and all of this? I'm like,
the issue with that is we already have people here that need help, right? We already have impoverished.
Y'all see this?
I can add it to the stage. I don't see anything yet. The screen's just dark. Oh, okay, I see.
I gotta add the screen to the stage.
I do.
Oh, that's tough.
So this is All Sides Media. And it tells you which one. Can you pull up the graph? It should just be like a picture.
So if you go one by one, you can see.
Oh, it tells you which one.
Yeah. So like you go to Associated Press. I didn't realize Associated all the way left. That's crazy.
See, one thing I like about this platform is they'll take the same story and put what the left reported about it and what the right reported about it.
Different headlines.
Yeah, and it's typically not completely different, but one is slightly altered. Well, both are slightly altered.
But the information be the same a lot of the time. Like, it'll be, you see it a lot in the stock market. That's a different example. But like the earnings report that come out of a company, one news article says it's like the greatest thing ever. Another one says it's the worst thing ever. Like,
yeah,
it's bias in media, man. It's just what it is.
Yeah, but like it's very important to know which side the information that you're getting, which side are they leaning on, because if you don't know which side they leaning on, you're getting this information not knowing that there's a complete bias in the information that you're getting, thinking that it's all the way to truth when it's really like it's an exaggerated truth that is meant to manipulate people.
Can we talk about Breakfast Club, bro? I listen to Breakfast Club because I just know that that's like one of the top media outlets for Black people in the country.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to it yesterday. Charlamagne joking with Envy, like, "Oh yeah, you look Dominican, you gonna get deported." This bothered me. I don't know if it'll bother y'all. This man Envy say, "Stop playing with me, Charlamagne. I'm not Dominican. I'm Black." But he was dead serious. He said, "I'm not Dominican. I'm Black." This what Envy said. So like, my point is
Envy Black?
Bro, I don't know what the man.
I don't know for sure.
But well, ain't Dominican
you know
like?
But my point, like he's disassociated himself from an actual nationality but he's calling himself just the word black. Like, and to me, these are the people that's putting out mass political information, like, and they don't even know who they are. Like, how can you speak on identity politics when you don't even have an identity? You say you're black, like, okay, I'm off my.
So let's talk about DEI then, because I want to know what people think that means. Like, what does DEI mean to y'all?
I mean, it means diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? Like that's literally what it is. That's what DEI is.
But I mean, like, how as a process, as a practice, what should that look like to get the best out? Like, are we looking for the best outcomes, or are we looking for more opportunities, or are we looking for?
I think
you mean from an ideal, or what it actually is, or what it was. You know what I'm saying?
From an idea and a process. How do you take that idea into a process? What does that look like?
Well,
how we butt in?
For me, go ahead.
Let me butt in. Y'all done went a whole 20 minutes because you ain't introduced me to the people or nothing. You got to introduce me to you.
I was waiting for you to.
Nah, I don't like the cameras anyway. But let me say
this Dante, y'all. They call him Dante.
Nah, it's all good. Look, I think what all y'all saying is very informative, but you lose people with the information. So what happens is what the left is doing, which is really segregating people.
Yeah.
Like it's okay. So the conversation mostly been about the left and the right. We all live in the United States.
Yeah.
So I think we need to learn how to make the conversation be more about how can we all come together, regardless of what fucking side you're on, excuse my French. How can we come together and move forward? Because it don't make no difference what side you're on. I mean, me coming up, my mother told me, vote Democrat. I think most black people grew up like that.
Yeah.
Vote Democrat, whatever it is, you check that. You know what I mean? At some point, I didn't like what was going on. So I started questioning what I saw.
Yeah.
When I came into the light, now that I'm in the light, it's almost kind of like a belittlement to look at other people who have not gotten in the light yet.
Yeah.
So because they're not informed and then we use these big words, we're going to lose them. Because a lot of people attention span, first of all, it's not long. They want to hear and see excitement. That's what get our culture to pay attention to what's going on. So we can sit here and talk, man, hey, this, and using these big words, we're going to lose people because their attention span is not that long. And that's not a bad thing, even though we are informing them, but that's how our culture, that's how we relate to certain things. That's how we, I guess, embrace, whether good or bad, we embrace what we see. And it's messed up, but a lot of times,
because I want to get into that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
I still think
spoon-fed information.
But I don't listen. Hold on, real quick. I don't think it's.
I think DEI is being spoon-fed. Being honest,
we can be spoon-fed, but here's the thing. Watch this. That's why I brought up the point to you last night about education. So most of our culture come up in public schools. Not saying public schools are bad, but public schools have a much larger group of kids in the class as opposed to private schools. So that means you can spend more time with those kids because the class is smaller. Well, you can put more in them because the teachers pay more attention to the kids. Well, on the flip side of that, that's not happening. So you got 10 kids is actually paying attention, and you got 25 kids in the background doing whatever they want to do. you put the education all on the same level. And I'm saying this because you're talking about spoon feeding. Well, everybody don't grow up the same. And I'm not saying that's a justification, but if we put more emphasis on sports, and other coaches are putting more emphasis on how many books you read a week, who win?
The ones that do books.
So it's about education. So it ain't about spoon feeding. You want the same thing that they get.
But so the point is, if we trying to get the same education they get, and we want to make this about making this work for everybody, either on both sides, how do we as a culture change the way we receive information and the way we get educated, so that so that we as a culture can get on the same level as the other cultures who aren't getting spoon-fed information because they've been reading. It's been in their culture to read and do STEM and do science and understand reasoning.
How do you train a dog?
With time and patience.
What's the best way to train a dog? How do you get results from a dog?
Reinforcement, positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement. How do you use positive reinforcement for a dog?
Treats.
Things they like. Okay, so watch this. How do the black culture use treats? Okay, let me ask this. What does the black culture treat?
Music. We like music.
Music, sports,
athletics,
clothes,
entertainment.
Right. So we don't put education or all. Look, cuz he on the honor roll. We ain't putting that on the front page of the Daily Journal. The family not coming together and taking him out to dinner because he's on the honor roll. But we will if he scored a touchdown. That comes from that all of that is like what you would consider learned behavior. Because we start at a young age. Kids get excited about scoring a touchdown, but as soon as they get home, they're not getting excited about, hey, mom, hey, dad, I just read this whole book. We're not treating them. Hey, let's go to Dairy Queen. Boy, you done read a whole book. We're not doing that. But when they score a touchdown or make a hit a basket, see, that's what I'm saying. That's why we can't focus on the left and the right, because it happened on both sides. For sure. That's my whole point. Y'all go ahead.
The only reason I may disagree with that is because I've worked with both.
Mm-hmm.
They operate very differently.
When you say both, are you talking about left and right?
Yes.
Well, okay. Well, let me ask you this: are there some ideologies on the left side that you agree with, or do you know? Because if you break it down, I guarantee
there are some that I agree with on the left. Absolutely.
So how can you say they're very different? Because here's the thing. I'm
talking about as a unit. So we can take football teams, right?
The football teams,
football teams. We can look at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Even though the Bears had good players, how did they move as a unit?
They didn't have no good players. I'm sorry, said. Okay. Don't get me, because you're gonna take the whole. I'm gonna be upset, and I ain't gonna be able to finish this podcast. Use another analogy. Yeah,
I'll use another team.
Use another team.
Use
the teams that did not make the Super Bowl. Yeah. They were good teams, right? They had good people on the team.
Yeah.
The Ravens. We'll use the Ravens. The Ravens got good players. Lamar Jackson and what's the running back name? Jesus.
You talking about Henry game?
The Bengals would have been a much better example, bro.
So what you're saying is the camaraderie exists more with Republicans as opposed to Democrats? Is that what you're saying?
Moving as a unit, moving as a team, order and structure. Yes.
I disagree.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Because in the black culture alone, 92% of women voted for Kamala Harris. 74% of black men voted for it. Even though it was wrong, not saying it's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is they came together
Bro, talking about
And
leadership,
even
bro. I
for
feel
a
like
I'm
bogus
talking about
cause,
leadership. I'm
I
not
feel
talking
like
about the
bro
followers.
talking about leadership.
I'm not
We
talking about the followers.
top.
I'm talking about the people that's making the
You
decisions.
talking about, okay, you talking
I'm
about
talking
like,
about coming together.
so
You said camaraderie.
he talking about
I
you
ain't saying
comparing-
winning. I'm saying coming together, period.
He talking about if you compare like the Democratic National Committee, like the DNC, and then the RNC, like the
Yeah.
Republican National Committee, the leaderships of both parties. They
The
operate.
leadership and the way.
Are you saying that that's the
run.
case for this year, or that's all?
Because I would say 4 years ago that wasn't the case. Maybe now.
I'll say now. I don't know about 4 years ago.
Well, 4
Okay,
years
now.
ago, hiring Beyonce and them worked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I mean,
Did it?
Well,
Did
Sam,
it?
the same thing. They used the same playbook and they won with that same playbook 4 years ago.
And this time they got slaughtered. So
Fair
Okay,
enough.
so but does that mean they didn't come together because they won the last time? So you can't say they don't come together like we don't. You just may agree with them more.
no. So here's why I say this. Even during, and this is just from what I saw, right? I'm talking about what I physically saw. The chaos and the all over the place, like, and this could be because they had just won an election, but the way the Republicans locked in and boom, 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 we finna do this, even the things that they might not have agreed on. After working those conventions, I can see like people trying to figure out why Trump is doing all of this stuff so fast, so rapidly. They moving like machines over there, and they moving as a unit.
Look though, I think that's more about him coming in turn for the second time as opposed to the people around him. Because the first time he didn't really know what he was doing. It was on the job training.
Mm-hmm.
This next time, he had 4 years to sit back and see exactly what he needed to do. And to me, that's more of a reason why it's moving like a fine machine right now. And that's why he's accomplishing so much in these few amount of days. I don't think it's just Republicans just better at coming together and leadership. I think it's more him. You know what I mean? That's me personally. I could be wrong, but
you're right. I don't think without him they wouldn't be coming together this year.
No, I don't think so.
I think that's like
this
is them just realizing because a lot of them been bucking for like years. I know.
Hell, he pissed off all the Republicans 4 years ago. He pissed off most of them 4 years ago.
So this is just like
everybody was mad.
When you recognize that somebody has a power that you can't really mess with or tangle with at this point, and this is your party, you might as well fall in line, or you're gonna get primary. Like it's inevitable. You might as well play ball. And some of them wanted to like him anyway, and now he gonna work with them to give him favors. So now they working like a well-oiled machine because all their agendas can get done.
Hey, when you say the Democrats togetherness is more impressive because it was baseless?
I think it's more. I think it's more of a few hands that are controlling the puppet.
I'm saying the Democrats. I feel like they're more impressive in togetherness because it was based on nothing. Like at least the Republicans was,
Here's what
I can't say what the Democrats are doing is based on nothing.
Yeah,
I think there's things
I'm not saying
they genuinely care about and genuinely,
and they
absolutely.
I agree with
I think that's what her comment.
I work with a lot of.
She's a genuinely good person. That it's hard to put her as a president, But
so y'all got to realize too, the Democratic Party is based off of our, grandparents and things of that nature. So a lot of people that's still standing with them, they're being loyal to what they were taught.
Yeah.
And their parents and grandparents didn't teach them what's going on right now. It's like a whole different type of party. It's not the same thing. And a lot of them, some of them have been disingenuous, but some of them just refuse to be disloyal to what was taught to them.
Mm-hmm.
True.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And so I think personally, this is why I don't like having the whole left-right thing, because it continues this whole split, and it shouldn't be a split because we talk about what they doing, and we doing this, we condemning them, and we doing the same thing. because all you're doing is splitting the pot. I don't want to split. I want them to understand the same thing I understand.
Mm.
You know
Okay,
what
so
I mean?
let's do
Because
this.
it's beneficial
100%.
for everybody. You know what I mean?
Let's do this. Let's talk about the things that have happened and what has actually happened. Because again, one of the main reasons I thought it was important for us to come on here was for us to talk about the actual policies that are taking place right now, the actual things that are happening that will or will not, for some of us, affect us and the way we live our lives and all of those things. Executive orders he signed, because there's a lot of misinformation that is out there talking about the things that he's done so far, talking about the power that Elon Musk has or does not have, talking about
we ain't getting the DEI whole time.
we
didn't
didn't.
really.
We can and Denzel, you can share your screen. We can pull up actual orders, read through them joints, and see what they actually say. Because even the DEI, one of the things that I've seen that I continue to try to debunk when I see it is that DEI, like even Trump wants to take away Black History Month, right? When that's not
I don't want Black History Month. I'm keeping it real. Why we gotta condemn?
No, but the thing is,
I don't want to condemn it down to 1 month. I don't know whether you think
whether
I don't like it's the shortest.
I don't like it's in 1 month, but
I don't like
I think all of that.
I think all of that is besides the point. I think because where people were getting that from was the DEI initiative, right? Because he said he was pulling federal funding from incentive programs that had that incentive DEI programs that the government was funding, and it went to programs that was affected by holidays. That some of the holidays that were affected. What is it? Hispanic Heritage Month, Martin Luther King Day, Pride Month, a bunch of things that are under the DEI umbrella, right? And all it said was because right now they're going through like a purge. They're trying the thing Trump is doing that people don't realize he's doing, because he talked about this all while he was running. The thing he's doing is trying to figure out where the excessive spending is, because there are billions of dollars that are being funneled through nonprofit organizations.
Hundreds of billions.
I've worked in some of these events, and I can tell you first-hand knowledge of this organization is getting this 100 odd million. This organization is getting
disclaimer. Nobody I work with has any.
Bro, they just sent over.
You said
I don't
what?
know how true it is. They just sent over $50 million worth of condoms.
No, I said disclaimer. Nobody I work with has anything to do with this.
Yeah, me.
Oh yeah.
They just sent $50 million worth of condoms. The Gaza.
Well, they said, you know what? I read a fact check about that. They said that they said it was. They didn't say it wasn't true, but they just said it wasn't evidence.
Yeah, well, that means they don't know neither, huh?
Who
Yeah,
was the fact
they
checker?
didn't say it wasn't true, and that was from an unbiased source. That was from Reuters. They said that basically they have not confirmed with evidence that statement is true, that they were going to send. That's what the White House press said.
You know what I think DEI does? I think DEI it causes the opposite effect. I mean, it causes the same effect as what it did prior to. So it's almost like this: if we put in place what do you call it?
Affirmative action.
Affirmative action. All right, cool. That means you gotta, like with the Bears. They interview Eddie George.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you interviewing Eddie George? Knowing you're not gonna hire him, but I gotta keep this quota.
Because they had to.
That's Rooney Rule. That's part of DEI, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is, I know a couple of guys. I got a prime example. A company that I know, it was a pregnant young lady. They hired the woman because it's a double minority, correct?
Pregnant
and she's pregnant.
Oh, a woman
Double
and
minority meaning she's black and she's a woman.
and
Double
black.
minority.
Woman and black.
It came down to two people: this brother and this woman, this pregnant woman. They gave the job to the woman. Now, ultimately, they end up having to let her go because she ended up having problems with her pregnancy, right? And so she couldn't come back to work. So now this other guy, he got to feed his family, but he out of a job. The whole time I'm saying is it's about availability. It ain't got nothing to do with, you know what I mean? We want the best person for the job, but DEI, I got to meet this quota.
Yeah.
So now it's a whole bunch of people that's actually qualified.
More qualified.
Yeah, and you leave them, and to me, it ain't got nothing to do with black, white, color, you know what I mean, gender, none of that. Who's the best person for the position? That's what I'm at with it, and I think.
And what's crazy is coming from like the people that I'm seeing say stuff about it is coming like people that are so heavy on DEI are people that didn't necessarily get to their. Some of them probably did, but a lot of them didn't necessarily get to their position because they black or because they're a minority. A lot of them got to the position they got because they're good at their job. I got a friend that worked his way up the corporate ladder because he was just good at his job, and they were begging him that when he left, they were begging him to come back.
Right.
So like that tells you, no, you're just good at what you do. You don't have this position that, like with my job, I don't have my job because I don't have the position I have because I'm black. There are tons of me out there, tons of black dudes. I got my job because I work hard. I show up to work on time, and I'm qualified to do the job that I have. And people focus on like a part. Now, again, I see the other side that there are industries that exist that are gatekeepers, right? But the issue with DEI is the gatekeeping don't stop because of DEI. It just filters its way. It funnels its way through a loophole to get it another way. Because even
what I will say is though, there
up?
are like when it comes to DEI, as far as like government contracts and funding that was getting given, like there are a lot of black businesses that are gonna miss out on that funding. So like that, I understand. Like I understand that people are gonna be upset about that. But I do think there will be new opportunities. Yeah. But I can understand like you being upset that all that funding is about to get cut. Now, I would say though, you should have been trying to get money out of a budget like that. You know, if you're a diversified business or entity, unless you have like with some nonprofits, they have a specific goal and like have a specific aim, and that's like that falls under the DEI umbrella. You know, but if you're more nimble as an organization, you don't have to worry about DEI. Like you don't have to worry about that sector funding being slashed because that's not necessarily your primary focus. You know, you can, if you're doing something with kids, that you're gonna do something with kids regardless. You ain't got to be under a DEI umbrella to do something with kids and still get your funding. You know what I mean? So, but I do hurt for those business owners. But at the same time, they should understand it's going to be new stuff coming out that you got to be ready for. And if you're a serious business person, that's what you're going to do.
Hit the game with a shot. I know that's right.
We could talk about the list of people that benefited from DEI before you even get to black people benefiting from it.
100%.
And there's a whole lot of people that have been hurt from DEI too. It go both ways.
Facts.
It go both ways.
My biggest pushback with DEI is the quota idea. I just feel like I'm a firm believer that laws can only like limit you. They can't liberate you. You know what I mean? So like the more laws you put in place, you just limits and it's hard for a law to like really liberate somebody. Like, and I feel like DEI, I
agree with that.
I was explaining to my brother the other day. I just feel like it from a funding perspective or from a hiring perspective, you're telling these organizations you need this many black people, and they're just setting that as a minimum or a maximum benchmark, but they don't got to go over that. So if I got this 100% of the fund is $100 million, I know I got to give 1% to black people. So now all the black people fighting for this 1% of 100 million, the other 99% is going to a much broader range of people.
Mhm.
Like same for a job. If you in a department of 20 white executives, male and female, whatever, now they gotta hire one black person to meet a 5% quota. Like
Mhm.
that's not
That's a
something that makes me
handout.
comfortable. You know what I mean?
That's a
Like I'd
handout that
rather
I
it just
don't
be
want.
open. You know what I mean? I'd rather us have the opportunity to get 4 people in here, 5 people in here, 10
Yeah,
people in here versus saying it gotta be one or one or only 2. Like
Yeah.
That is the epitome of disingenuous.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like we're doing it just because we have to, not
Yeah.
because you know what I mean. You the best person.
but the
I
person they hire become the biggest cheerleader. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
Nah,
some
they the
cases.
biggest cheerleader. I got on because of DEI, or they hired me because I'm black. Like, no, they played you. Like, I'm just
Yeah,
call it what it is. Like,
yeah. You the dude on the Django that Samuel L. Jackson played in. Samuel, you
man,
him.
man,
You him. No, no, no.
nah, they not. No, yeah, bro.
I don't want that. No,
It's
I
20.
don't give me
It's
nothing.
20.
But see,
It's 20 of y'all, 1 of you, and 100 of us. So,
I don't
you know what
want
I'm
that.
saying?
And then everybody in the office gonna be looking at you sideways anyway, because they know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you ain't
Come on,
supposed to.
man.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
You know what? I think people nowadays, especially the society we live in, everybody wants something given to them. And I think like
Absolutely.
even when it come to the reparations, I know this might be a sticky subject for some people, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway. Like we want reparations for something that we wasn't even a part of. Now I know that's gonna hurt people a certain type of way, and that's cool. But we asking for reparations, right? Now, and I'm gonna ask y'all this. It's gonna be controversial. If we were to pick up, if all our forefathers were to get up right now out of the grave and look up the progress or the lack thereof of the black community, what do you think they will say? So here's the thing: do we even deserve reparations for the hard work that they put in? They put in all this work, but we want reparations.
I actually think we should get reparations.
Mm.
I don't.
I think reparations
I don't.
is a debt that's owed.
To you?
No, our people.
Okay.
Everybody.
So again,
Yeah, to us, yeah.
There was legislation. We were freedmen. Like there's documentation. There was a Freedmen's Bureau that they siphoned money out of that was supposed to go to help rebuild descendants of slaves that was mismanaged.
So what's the majority? What's the percentage of black people that typically vote? Because we couldn't always vote.
Can't call it.
Like now, like what percentage
I'm
of our
saying
total population
outside of this past year, what was the percentage of black folk that vote? This is why I'm saying
30 somewhere.
I'm not saying we don't deserve that. My point is the things that we've been given, we take advantage of. So why do we deserve something that our people fought for and we ain't doing it no justice? That's my point. Not saying we don't deserve nothing, you know what I mean? But our forefathers got hit with fire hydrants and chased by dogs and all that, and we out here shaking our ass. We out here obsessed with porn, this, that, and the third, and everything else that bring our culture down. We having abortions by the boatload. Why do we deserve anything? Our forefathers wasn't doing that. So why do we deserve their struggle? Why do we deserve the money from their struggle? That might not make no sense to y'all. I don't care who mad. I'm keeping it real because it's the truth.
That's a fair point.
It's the truth. Why do we deserve what they fought for?
That's a fair point. I just wouldn't
66%.
I wouldn't argue that with the U.S. government if we was actually.
Yeah, I'm talking about us.
That's a conversation amongst us.
Yeah, amongst us. I ain't talking about them. If they gonna give me some money, hell yeah, give it here. I want it all. But amongst us,
I'm gonna say no.
Amongst us, I'm keeping it amongst us. Man, we don't deserve nothing, bro.
If I'm being honest, we
don't deserve nothing, bro. We don't deserve nothing. I'm just saying, we want all these.
But do you know the purpose of reparations is not necessarily what we deserve. it's really it's it's the position,
damage
but
control.
no, it's the position that we are in because of what happened to our ancestors.
Yeah,
that's why we. So it's not necessarily something that we've done that we deserve.
It's slavery, black codes, segregation. You know,
again.
Red line.
Okay, so watch this. So watch this. Red line, that's still going on. But again,
slavery, war on drugs.
Okay, so why don't we talk about the black slave owners? Because there was a lot of them too. So this is my point. If he just said it was about 30% of black people that voted prior to this,
actually we did sin.
And our it
was 66% black people voted.
66. No, that's just I'm talking about prior to this.
Oh, prior. Okay.
It was less than 40, right?
Yeah.
Well, it say 2000. Hold on.
Okay, go year by year, see how many it was.
2018 and 2000.
This is probably the first year that it's been over 50%, with the exception of Obama.
I think 08 we came out. I think 08.
That's what I'm saying. With the exception of Obama. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it to say, if our forefathers couldn't vote, and we don't even take our sorry ass, our lazy ass out there and go vote, why do we deserve what they fought for?
Hey, what do
you
think
about? Give it to me, yeah, I'm gonna take it. But as a black person, I know I ain't been upholding the standards that my forefathers laid for us.
Hey,
and we gotta understand that we don't do that.
This question gonna bridge the gap between DEI, what we talking about, and education. So, how do y'all feel about the potential disbandment of the Department of Education? How do y'all feel about potentially getting rid of that? I know my mom's she's in education, so, like college education, higher education, so she's very opinionated on this topic. But I'm kind of indifferent on it. Like I know there'll be a lot of stuff going on with funding, and especially like black schools and whatnot. There'll be some funding stuff that'll happen, some trick ups and hiccups, but my whole stance on it is the Department of Education existed, I believe, since around the time the Equal Employment Opportunity, all of that stuff happened, the EEOC. This is like the 60s and 70s. Mm-hmm. Since then, one could say, yes, black schools have improved in resources, staff, et cetera, et cetera.
No, they ain't.
But they not.
No, they ain't.
Hear me out.
That ain't even. That's not. That's
even if they improve by 1%, they are not fathom anywhere close to the trajectory.
The majority of the seniors right now are reading at a fourth grade level in the black community. That's a fact.
Think about our people though. They will hold on. They're convinced that the Department of Education and the employee rights and DEI and all that is for us. So their argument is that without the Department of Education, black schools will be even further behind. They're saying, "Oh, we've seen progress since the Department of Education exists." I'm saying we haven't seen equal progress as our
because I'll talk about Kentucky right now. The way
that's because our mamas and our daddies ain't no good. They don't want. I mean, listen, bro. It ain't up to. It's not up to. Listen, look, man. It ain't nothing. Look.
My son, our mamas and daddies ain't no good.
Look, my son knew how to count 1 to 10 before he went to the first school. Mm-hmm. I can't expect a woman that got all these kids and dealing with all these kids all week, and y'all throwing y'all kids on them and say, "Teach my child," and you don't teach them nothing. It's not fair to her because she got her own kids at home. So we take our kids and be like, drop their ass off, excuse my French again, drop them off and expect a stranger to take care of our kids for us. This is why the Jewish community got so much. They educate their children. Now, I don't know if I'll get what's the name for that, but it's a code that they live by. I'm keeping it real. I'm saying, what, we gonna get kicked off?
No,
you can't say
Jewish. No, you are good. It wasn't
it was an EO sign. We gotta be careful.
It's a new administration in office, man. You good. You ain't gotta
what?
worry
That's
about all
crazy.
that.
Look,
You know what
that's
I'm
crazy that I can't even use the J word.
Nah, you good. That's the last administration. You good.
About the Department of Education.
You good. It's a new. I'm just saying. But back to the DOE.
I'm saying what I do wrong though.
No, I want to say that this is important because I work with folks like your mom. Like
I used to work with
around the
mom in
country.
Olivet.
You know what I'm saying? So I work with a lot of educators. I understand the benefit of Department of Education and how it has, in a way, helped people, but I also understand that it needs probably major reform because we haven't gotten the results we've expected. As a country that is high as GDP as we are, as privileged as we are, we should not be this low in education.
Well,
That's
not even just black schools. That's as a whole.
That's what I'm saying. That's not
that's
black,
everybody.
that's across the
everybody.
board.
Yeah,
that's not
everybody.
even just black people.
But
That's
do people know what the plan is with the Department of Education?
That's my point. That's what I was gonna get to.
Like
I
people
don't
just talk
like.
about
I don't like the
disbandment of-
alternative of just sending it to the states because
So you
what
don't
you
like the
can't
alternative?
have, and I think that's what Trump wants to do is just make it to where education is controlled by each state. And a problem you have with that is that may have worked 50, 60 years ago when we weren't as polarized. We are very polarized. We are very partisan these days. So if you start sending it back to the states, cities that don't align with the governor or the governor's
It depends,
plan,
but no, it depends on the
they're going to get
stipulations.
funding stripped.
It depends on the. I think it depends on the funding situation with the stipulations that's going to come along, the policy that's going to follow along with what they plan on doing. Because another executive order he signed before before he even announced today that he still plan on disbanding the Department of Education. Either that was today or yesterday, but the plan is like he signed the executive order for school choice, right? Which school choice is
that's dangerous too.
People
it's
say
different.
that,
it's not dangerous.
what happens
people
is
say school choice, but what is that like? And at scale,
creates,
what does that look like?
It creates competition. So right now, each student is paid for by a certain dollar amount, right? From the government, from the federal government. So the less students you have, the less money your school is going to bring in. The more students you have, the more money your school is going to bring in.
Mm-hmm.
That's why schools are able to grow. So if he implements school choice, and now people have because one of the ways he's trying to either level out the market and bring these numbers back where they level is even in healthcare, right? The policy that he has, because he actually did this his first time, policy that he has to make hospitals print out and show you the price of the service that you're getting from them. So you go get a CAT scan, you're going to see how much that CAT scan costs before you get it. So if you look on Google and look up
the case anyway,
and see, right, that's what everybody say. That should be the case. If you look on Google and see, oh, if I go up the street, I could save $200 on this same CAT scan I'm going to get.
You can shop. You can shop.
Right, you can shop. So it creates it creates what's the word? Competition in the market, which lowers the price.
Hey, the school choice joint though, is that just like from a practical standpoint? If I live in Kankakee and I want to go to Bradley, like I can get my kids to Bradley, I can just go to Bradley. Like ain't no.
So
but if they
so that means zoning would be.
Because back in the day you could only go to certain schools depending on where you live.
Exactly.
Right.
Or you got if you want to go to Berkeley,
sports coaches are going to hate y'all.
Yeah. Sports coaches are going to love that. Some going to hate it. Some going to love it.
No.
Look, he like it.
Oh yeah. No. The ones that know they're in a bad area, but they got some kids, and the only thing keeping them kids was that they live down the street. And now you saying them kids can go somewhere else?
Now they actually have access to a good education. Oh no,
they're not going to hate it. That's
why. No, I'm just being contrary. That's what the coach going to tell.
That's going to put coaches out. That's going to put coaches out of jobs.
I think if you want a better education,
look. So Jay Clark, do better.
I mean,
Coach
you
better.
only
But
you
the
only
thing
limited
is-
to what
better.
you got though. You only limited. There's a big difference between Thornridge and Homewood Flossmoor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just
It is.
it's a big difference, bro.
But what's the
But
difference?
look, real
What's the
quick.
difference? Facilities, resources,
Facilities
cleanliness.
is huge.
You know what I'm
But
saying?
I was gonna say when y'all were talking about the hood, and y'all mentioned Kankakee. There's a huge misconception that Kankakee got a bad program. Kankakee actually has a good program.
Nah, if you
As
talk
a
about
coach.
sports, yeah. If you talk about education, nah.
I was
Yeah,
saying
look, yes, they do.
when I mentioned
We
Kankakee,
don't
I was
rank
just
them.
talking about how close they were.
We don't rank as far as BBCHS and MAC.
No, like test scores throughout the state, like a state.
No. I'm not talking. So are y'all basing on how the kids perform? Because a kid could just be dumb as hell. That don't mean the teacher ain't doing that job. I'm saying.
No,
I'm saying. Wait.
We gotta
you're judged on how effective your program is.
You judge on the test scores. But here's the thing: Joe Clark went up and leaned on me, right? He went in there with the bat. These are same kids that was in there. Think about it. I'm keeping it real. These are same kids that was in there. The kids didn't change. Huh? Joe Clark came up in there with that bat, like, hold on. You smoke crack, don't you? I'm keeping it. They got themselves together. So is it that the kids were, hold on real quick. Is it that the kids were dumb, or did they have somebody come in there and give them structure?
So the issue with Kankakee is they don't hold kids to a standard, nor do they hold them accountable.
They need Joe Clark.
When I worked at the Kankakee Country Club, there were kids that were students at the high school that worked with me. During the school day, when I was at work, they would also be there. Fast forward, they did this all throughout the school year. Fast forward, this their senior year. They didn't go to school not one time. They didn't do none of their homework. Come to graduation, they get an email saying, you want to come graduate?
You got to keep in mind, a lot of those kids are in, I don't know if they still got it, but they got SALT programs where kids have, it's an alternative school.
You don't go to school.
You don't go to school, you go work. So you got to keep that in mind too. So
no,
you don't know that.
I know kids. I used to work with that studio out
there. They only take
2
or 3, 4 hours a day. They only do 2 to 4 hours a day at the alternative school, and then they go to work.
I'm talking about kids.
You said they went to Kankakee.
You said they was at Kankakee and they just didn't go to school at all.
Yes, they were skipping school, and they even. I remember them being shocked about.
They probably went to career center, and then instead of going to career center, they went to the country club.
No, they were shocked. They didn't know why they graduated.
Damn.
I'm trying to tell you, these kids were shocked. They was like, I said, how you graduate? I don't know. They just sent me an email saying I could graduate. Didn't do none of the work.
That ain't the norm, though. That's an extreme. That ain't the norm.
Yes, ask anybody that work at Kankakee High School.
No, I'm just saying that those are situations, but that ain't the norm, though.
Well, test scores will tell it. I mean,
they test scores probably may be horrible, but again, if you don't come in there with the iron fist and you allow them to do what they want to do, then
because I don't want to put it all on the teachers and administration.
Yeah, you can't.
It's a tough job.
It's
a tough job.
You can't put it all on the teacher spends more time with your child, and it's 30 of them than the parents do. Because you got to think, if it's a 1-parent household, mama gonna be at work. She got 2 jobs, and then she gonna go party, and she probably send the kids with her grandma, you know, or with her mama. You got a 2-parent household, you still splitting time. They at school most of the time with their teachers, and then the teachers underpaid. They tired of these little bastards.
Sure, I can't keep them, boy.
I have some good teachers.
I'm just saying, that don't mean the teachers ain't good. That just means, the parents need to do more, bro.
That's true.
I agree with that.
I agree. It was
some good teachers at the high school. Probably still some good teachers. The one that's still there.
Fine ones too. I had some fine teachers. A couple of them. Shout out to
good.
Hey, what I'm seeing in the high school today, I'm working in a high school in Calumet City, man, and you gotta make school cool, bro. Like as corny as that sound,
On the
like
real.
dude, these
For real.
kids, if you make school cool, like if you show them positive male, female role models, whatever have, that's doing business, that's working a good, successful job, that's working a long-standing job, it don't matter what they're doing, as long as they can come in and speak to these kids and relay, like, hey, I was in your seat, I made it out, I'm doing all right for myself. Like, you may not have that positive, role model at the crib.
So
Maybe you only got a single family.
Hold on,
Jonathan.
Hold on, Jonathan, real quick. Let me just say this real quick. This is full circle. Remember when we first started the conversation, we were talking about spoon feeding. I'm sorry, and making it a certain type of way for the individual. This is what I'm saying. So it's like in the black community, like we talking about politics. Most people ain't gonna even get with a lot of things that they ain't gonna understand what we saying. Some people may.
Yeah.
But the majority, most people don't care about politics and economics until it hit their pocket.
Facts.
So how do you get people to understand what you're talking about? How do you get people interested? Because if we sit down and we just talk about numbers and who bad on the left and who bad on the right,
well, you let them know
everybody. So you got to make it entertaining or whatever for them to understand where we going with it. And now
let them know why and how it's already hitting their pockets. So like even to the school choice thing, right? Or even sending the Department of Education back to the states. The incentive and the intent with that is that those, when you say Jay Clark, you gotta have people there that encourage the kids to give them a reason to want to come to school.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
With that, you can pay a teacher more money because you see they have a heavy influence instead of Jay Clark saying, you know what, instead of teaching, I'm finna do this because I got to take care of my family. Because they don't pay teachers enough right now.
Nah, they don't pay. They ain't never been paying.
Now, if the market, the teaching market became competitive from that standpoint, I think it'd be a lot.
So you saying give more incentive to the teacher to
the teacher, the principal, whoever.
Like you the best teacher, you should be able to get paid
like getting paid is a misconception, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. They're begging people to teach, and teachers make better money than the common person would think.
Not gonna lie, my
teachers make decent money, bro. That's a misconception, and most of the people that be saying it ain't teachers.
It do go by district too, though.
They go by district.
Put
it like this. Put it like this. As much schooling as they have to do, I think they extremely underpaid. If you compare it to lawyers and doctors.
How many teachers you know?
Lawyers and doctors go to school double the amount of time as teachers.
I ain't gonna say double.
They go to school double.
Is it double?
Yeah, they teach
double for sure. You can go to school. You can get a teacher.
6 years. They be
getting teaching jobs out of as soon as they get their bachelor's. They be the teaching assistant.
So you say 6 years, right?
It's about 6 years.
So every lawyer.
But honestly, no, you don't have to.
Every lawyer.
Teach elementary.
Wait a minute, because y'all said double. Y'all said double. We got to.
I can teach high school right now.
Y'all said every lawyer does 12 years.
I can teach high school and elementary.
No, every lawyer is not.
Okay, so you can't say double.
No education.
It's more, but it ain't double.
Everyone don't do 12.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
It just depends on the program you.
Shit, some people terrible.
I think it's like 10 to 12.
I'm only saying that because
teachers only do bachelors, and they can be a teacher.
Okay, but they got to get their doctorate in order to be like with your cousin.
Like a principal, or administrator. Be like a regular elementary teacher, like a middle school. All you need is a bachelor. That's all you need. You can really have an associate. My honors pre-algebra teacher only had an associate.
Teaching isn't. I will never disrespect teachers, but teaching can be a simple task. There's good teachers and bad teachers, but you really just relaying a lesson plan. Like you getting a lesson plan from a book, and you relaying it.
I don't think.
I ain't gonna lie, I done dated a few teachers, but they're not doing that much.
No, but here's the thing.
Now, in the daytime when they're working with the kids, that's a lot.
But it's not about. I don't think it's. I don't think
y'all got to take it into account too. Teachers don't get summers. They may get maybe a month or two off. Now most professions don't, but most professions ain't dealing with other people's kids all year either.
That's the biggest benefit of being a teacher, though.
Come on,
they get like two months out of the year off, bro.
No, teachers
don't know other job.
They getting part-time jobs in the summer because they're not working.
Well,
it depends on what it
okay.
depends. If you decide to teach summer school, or you decide to do like summer
Oh.
like most of them don't come back for like the following year's teaching program until like the beginning of that August. Going
But
into
you know, they still get
But
paid.
they got
But
the
they
June,
got-
July.
what
They
they-
got the June, July off.
But they gotta have like they gotta have everything laid out as far as the syllabus goes for the damn near the whole
They don't have to.
but
They department do that, gang.
Yeah, they ain't.
so y'all
That's
saying
like
they don't
department.
do nothing. That's what y'all
No, it
saying.
ain't-
No,
it ain't
no,
that they
I don't
saying-
think we should.
I ain't
so
saying
my
y'all-
job
I'm
today-
saying
It's a
nothing, but
lot
I'm
of it's
saying-
prepared. Their main role is really working with the kids.
but I don't think that's
Modern,
fair.
modern like K elementary teachers.
But
a lot of that stuff is
I
prepared.
was-
guess how
And
many
they gotta
buttons-
they gotta
Wait,
find
wait,
their own way to
wait.
teach it.
Wait,
to
guess
make
how many buttons
shit.
I pushed at work today? Guess how many buttons I pushed at work today?
Probably 2.
Some days I only push one.
You ain't no teacher though.
But here's what I'm saying.
And you ain't teaching a class with
But here's
50
what
kids
I'm
in it
saying.
either.
The importance of their position in the kid's life and the influence they have and the impact they make on every one of these kids is significantly important.
That's
It
what I'm
is.
saying.
And they don't get paid enough for it.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
they don't
everybody-
get
I
paid.
think we all
And they
agree
don't
with
get
that.
paid.
That's what we
enough for it.
agree.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
what
You
we
broke
agree.
it down, then they don't get paid for it.
So
That's
it's not
all.
about because jobs aren't always about
They
how
getting
much
them to
work
come
you
to
do.
school. Like the kid want to come to school to see that
To
teacher.
see that teacher. Yeah.
Exactly.
I
So
agree.
the impact that they have is extreme. I can remember back to my elementary school teachers and remember their names because of the impact
Especially
that
she
they
was
had.
fine. Y'all acting like aesthetics don't mean nothing. Y'all better
it definitely matter because
That's a fact,
I
though.
was 100 when I was.
You remember the Martin episode? He wanted to touch that thigh. I had a couple of times I wanted to touch when
I know that's right.
I'm just saying, y'all don't be acting like that because y'all, what's his name? Man? Y'all
Y'all
want
wasn't there.
moving right along.
No, but
y'all, hey man, hey,
No, we needed to come and
y'all want to touch
Oh,
that
bro.
thigh, touch that
no,
thigh.
but the incentive with even the school choice executive order or his purpose in it is
Man,
so
you
that
be
teacher-
What?
schools can pay superintendents, board, the boards or the school boards or whatever. They can pay teachers more. That's the purpose with the school. Well, that's one of the big purposes with school choice is, and sending the federal or the Department of Education back to the states is it gives them more money and it helps them be able to see. Because
That's
guess what?
not- I
As a
don't think that's
teacher,
gonna get 'em
now
more
you
money,
can go
though,
to a
bro.
new school district. If I know my importance as a teacher and I know my impact, I can go to another school district and make 6 figures.
You leaving out a major part of this, bro.
What's
Because
that?
funding going to another school is taking it away from the first school. You know what I'm saying? A good teacher
What do you
leaving one
say?
school is going
It's
to the
taken
other
away
school.
from another school, and that's what I worry about because it's already school. So like when this starts, there are already going to be a lot of schools at a disadvantage.
Yep.
So they already starting the race from the back of the line.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the state going to do? Is if you take it to the states and let the states run their own Department of Education, run their
It's gonna be
own
less
K
money.
through 12 programs, okay. Then what are they going to do about the schools that are already behind? Are they going to just leave them behind and say, no, they don't really matter? We'll leave them at the bottom. We'll focus on our mid-tier to high-level schools, make sure they're the best. So on a national scale,
you
we
end
got
up
the
with the
best
same
education.
problem.
Again, this is why
You got
I
the
think
same issue. Because you left
but
off.
I think it matters what the stipulations are within the policy that they're creating around this topic. And I know because they're writing bills right now. Congress is writing bills right now on these things. They actually, from what I heard, they're trying to do 2 bills. They're trying to do one to focus on the border and security and of the country, and then the next one that's when they focus on all of the rest of the border education and all of that stuff. That's according to Byron Donalds.
So
That's what he said.
But if they disband it, there is no. That's my fear. Like I'm all, you know what I'm saying. I don't think the Board of Education has done its job. But if they disband it.
Before they
you
disband
know,
it, I believe they'll have a policy for it.
Can I
Like
ask
the
y'all
lady
a
said
question?
today.
I don't think they needed to. I think they should reform. I don't think you disband the Department of Education.
Can I ask y'all a question?
uh,
What will help all of this?
If people research,
No.
what you mean?
Hey, mamas and daddies do that. Because watch this. When the mamas and daddies do their job, it makes the teacher's job easier. It makes the principal's job easier. It makes the superintendent's job easier. If the mamas and daddies do what they're supposed to do, discipline their children, it's less time in detention, it's less time in the principal's office, there's less time being suspended and at home. The teacher will enjoy going to work. So then we eliminate all these problems where the teacher come in like, I got to deal with these little whop bams and the blase skippies, because now the kid, I'm just saying, now the kid is coming in well behaved, ready to learn, wasn't on TikTok all night. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
wasn't
but we
playing
talking
Madden
about
all night. What you know?
But how do you implement good parenting?
We're talking about how you help it through policy, like through the office of the presidency.
I understand you talking about policy. I understand you talking about policy, but the reason why we talking about policy is because it's horrible parenting.
That funding.
that's
So I'm saying, like, if it wasn't horrible parenting, we wouldn't have this discussion.
But it's still schools that don't get the fair amount of funding,
funding because computers need to be replaced, whiteboards, smart boards.
I agree with all of that.
That's what I'm saying. Though, if the state's not gonna focus on those, and they're gonna get left in the back of the line. Say a state like Nebraska. No, I ain't even say Nebraska. Let's use Texas. Texas is a good example. Let's use a state like Texas, where bad public schools in Houston and Dallas, you know, that may be in Democrat strongholds that they don't really rock with, and they have DEI policies and they're fighting back in the system. But now the kids gonna suffer because guess what? The text is a partisan thing.
It shouldn't be political anyway.
They're not gonna get those schools funded.
It shouldn't be political.
It's gonna become partisan.
No, I'm talking about Dante.
I said it shouldn't be political.
It shouldn't be.
That's essentially what Trump has said is this power should have never been in the federal government's hands.
I agree with that. It shouldn't be political in the first place because there's no way that you're going to level the playing field because okay, so let's just say you got Kankakee. Kankakee High School got 1,500 students, I want to say. Then you go to a school like a school in the city, let's just say Crane or Julian or something like that. Typically, those public schools are probably going to have, 4,000 kids? Maybe. Let's just throw a number out there. Mm-hmm. So how are you going to equally distribute everything across the board? Then you got a school like Herschel. It's only 500 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think you want to equally distribute. I don't think you want to equally distribute. You just want a threshold.
Okay,
if you got this many students, you should be testing like this percentage of your students should be testing this high on math, science, reading.
No, but if the teacher got 12 students and the other teacher got 50, how do you
the 12 should be higher.
The bigger school is going to have the bigger classrooms,
attention.
Right? They're going to have a larger size classroom.
So they get more attention.
But they'll be able to afford more teachers. They're probably going to get more money.
Okay, right? So Hinsdale Centrals, they got like 5,000 to 6,000 kids. Their test scores are up to par.
They got the teachers. They probably got enough teachers and they can pay high quality teachers. And matter of fact, they probably have high quality alumni that want to come back and be teachers.
Oh, alumni. That's a good segue to start. That's a good segue to HBCUs.
See, even with that, like one thing I like, and hopefully the policy and the things they come up with, they write them well and write them well balanced. The thing that I like is competition. I like because it increases performance.
As it relates to what far as the students or the teachers?
The teachers, the superintendent, the parents on this, because now even when you include choice, now the parents can create competition with the schools. All right, they got a better science program, and my son wants to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to send them to this school because their teachers are better, because their superintendent has invested in this better teacher or product to be able to bring in students.
But that's already going on in the suburbs, though. That's already going on in the suburbs.
But it should be going on across the board.
That's true. But I'm just saying it's already a thing.
It's going on in private schools, but not public schools.
Yeah.
It's going on in public schools for sure.
What's that?
It's just not as
doors.
Right.
It's definitely going on.
In some instances, illegal.
Illegal.
It's funny you said competition too.
What's illegal? Hell,
is that illegal? You know what I'm saying? Or is that just?
It's like
one. The difference is
I can't speak to the legality.
Pressure. Well, the difference is the pressure on the school district to be able to actually perform. Because say Kankakee, right? They know because a certain amount of kids live in Kankakee, they're going to get a certain amount of kids that come to that school. But if you're threatened with, now we have choice, and if you don't perform, we're going to go to this school. That's going to put pressure on Kankakee to perform.
Schools are going to close though. Like as long as we okay with that.
The schools that need to
close.
Well,
and that's the thing.
But y'all leaving out a big part too, though. Y'all leaving out what? Okay, so what brings in the revenue for any school?
Schools closing anyway. First of all,
what? That's true. But what brings in revenue for most schools?
Students, the amount of students there.
Grants, athletics.
Athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if athletics bring in like a boatload of the money, well, I put it to you like this. Bishop Mack, what they got, like 500 kids?
Something like that, over under.
Maybe. But they've all
less than that.
It's probably less than that, but they've always been competitive across the board.
Bishop Mack was on their way to closing too.
Really?
At 100.
Oh,
see,
100%.
I don't know that. So then let me stop my point, because I was gonna make a point as it relates to
they've been on their way to close for the last about 10 years.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. They ain't got no money over there because they getting
they
smaller.
Struggling.
Well, or is that attributed to Kankakee with having better facilities? Because I'm telling y'all, that's what I'm saying. Y'all leaving out athletics because
athletics is important.
Huh?
Athletics is absolutely important.
Athletic is a huge because back in the day, you could recruit. Kankakee couldn't recruit; they just had to get what they got, and they expected everybody to come. So you always had that phenom running back to go to Bishop Mack. It's been that way for years.
You know what?
Up until maybe Jaden. You know what I mean? But it's always been, well, we can recruit. They used to come to our games. I was really wanted all the best players, and we were able to, some went, some couldn't. The ones that can get scholarships, the ones moms can pay for it or whatever. But Kankakee didn't have that.
So maybe in this format, they would be able to recruit.
I'll say that's a high school football coach right here. Would you like to be able to go recruit players?
Oh, of course. But we would also have kids leave. But one thing that I want to point out when it comes to high schools and athletics, right? Of course, the easiest thing to think of is ticketing. You host a football game, you sell tickets, concessions, all of that. One of the things that's left out that I'm learning this year from coaching wrestling, there's huge revenue in hosting events. So you have good enough facilities where you can host a track meet where 20 schools.
That's why Kankakee winning. That's why Kankakee winning.
You got a track meet with 25 schools. They paying $750 to $1,000 each per school. Wrestling meets $500 per team. Cheerleading meets $500 to $1,000 per team. So if you can host them events, that's where the real money is.
At facilities. That was a time when Kankakee facilities were horrible. So it was easy to go to Bishop Mack because their facilities were a little better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't even say a little better. It was sufficient. Our facilities horrible. Weight room, whole nine. I'm keeping it real.
We had bed bugs.
It was horrible. So imagine what we had.
Jeez.
I love if we could recruit around these Thorntons, like I'm at Thornton, I'm at Fractional North. There's also a Thornton Fractional South, and there's Thornton. There's Thorn Ridge. There's Thorn Wood. So an area like this,
Dalton,
you know what I'm saying?
With that horrible mayor. You want to segue to her? Look at Clark. I'm over there every day. I ride past the town home, the whatever they be at out there trying to drag up. Man, let me not say the wrong thing on YouTube.
The Democrats find
I'm gonna get flagged, cuz
stop.
they gonna kick me off
Stop.
the YouTube on my first day.
The Superman.
I want to get kicked off on my first day, cuz I can't stand that wench.
All right.
I'm gonna keep it real. And see, now look, let's talk. We gonna talk. I done had a little blast.
Hey, yeah, but the people in Dalton, you know, the most interesting stat about that,
they voted for it.
Nah, that's where I was going. Only 9% of registered voters.
That's because you know why? Because nobody else.
Right.
Well, why though? Because nobody else wanted to have a job.
I'm saying they couldn't get more than 10%. 1 in 10 people to
That's what I'm
vote.
saying, bro.
Are you serious?
Yes. Most people don't even know that.
9%, dog.
Most people don't even know that.
Voters in Dalton voted, and she won. 9%, not 29, not 19,
bro.
9%, dog.
Yep, that's 9%. How she won.
How many people on the ballot?
Dog, I think it was only 2, 1 or 2. It
was. If I ain't mistaken, it was her and this old white dude. If I ain't mistaken.
He was a Republican.
I don't know what he was, but the few people that did voted in because she was black. Bro,
when 9%
she was ghetto when she came in.
How
that's
can,
why identity politics.
This is what we need to segue into. Hold on.
That's why identity politics is not
good. We're going on an hour and a half. I do got to get up at 6:30.
Yeah, no,
I see you keep scratching your
let's
head.
go. We probably go 5 more minutes.
I see you scratching your head.
Yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock.
It's 11 o'clock here.
When it comes to leadership in the black community, I've been blessed to be around some black leaders who I respect and some who I am skeptical of.
Just say don't, keep it real. They be weak too.
Yeah, they be weak. I gotta
keep it real.
They be weak. I ain't gonna say no names, but they be weak.
They ain't got to.
But at the same time, how can the generation that's like between 25 and 45, you know what I'm saying, start coming up as new leaders and getting some of these seats or getting some of these positions so we can stop doing things the old way? Because I think that's why we stagnant, because we've been doing things the old way. And like you said it earlier, our moms and dads, a lot of them was weak.
No, I don't
want to say they weak.
I ain't call them weak. They did the best they could. They didn't have knowledge that we got.
Let's not say weak. As far as like the job when it comes to leading the black community as a whole, did not do a good job based on the state we're in now. There's individual parents obviously that raised us, did a great job, did the best they could, but as a whole, as a community, I think the leadership has failed.
I think our priorities.
It was less equipped, though.
They weren't
a lot less equipped, to be fair.
Say it again, Jacob.
And also,
I think my mic might be messing up, but I feel like they were a lot less equipped than our generation is today with
100%,
resources.
But this is my argument, though, because I think our grandparents were a lot less equipped, but I think they were better.
I agree with that 1,000%.
No, but you gotta remember.
I agree with that 1,000%.
But you gotta remember the intentionality behind the things that took place after our grandparents' generation, after they did the civil rights.
Feminism.
There were things that they intentionally put in place to knock us back 10 steps because they was like, "Oh, y'all stepping a little too much."
So wait.
Like the department.
Wait. Let's stay right there, because in those 10 steps, what was the marital rate during the Jim Crow era? Y'all can do a fact check real quick; it'll blow your mind. What was the marital rate?
It was much higher
over
before Jim Crow.
It was 82%.
It was much higher before Jim Crow.
So that means even though they had much more to fight against, we stuck together.
That's what I was saying.
I want to take what you just said. I just had an epiphany though, because I feel like what you just said with our grandparents and our parents is some truth to that. I don't know where I'm going with it, but I feel like our grandparents, they were more hardened because of the situation they were in. And then from their kids, our parents' immediate generation above, they may have been a little more, I don't want to use the word coddled, but they were kind of overly protected. We in the 60s, we in the 70s, a lot of stuff going on. We want to keep everybody kind of together. And I wasn't in that generation, but I feel like they were kind of kept almost bubble wrapped in comparison to their parents. Not that that was all truth, but I feel like they were kept a little more under the wing than their parents may have been. And then us,
they was assassinating folk.
I think they were rebellious as hell. And let me tell you why. I'm keeping it real.
Think about it.
They were they seen what their moms went through and their grandparents, and they refused. I ain't going through that. I wish I would.
Then why are they so compliant to the Democratic Party? That's what I'm trying to uncover. Why are they so compliant?
It's a contradiction.
It allows you to be a victim.
But this is what. Nah, well, that's a true thing. Don't be scared now to carry on.
But you got to remember the things like war on drugs, pumping crack into all.
There you go, justifying.
That's what a fear. That's what a fear.
There you go, justifying hell.
That's what a fear.
No, it's not necessarily justifying because they was locking them up.
What year was the Vietnam War?
What year was it?
60s.
I don't know.
That was like 60,
All right.
65 to 69.
See, our parents were babies.
Hey,
they were kids.
babies.
I want to say it was like 65, 69.
We say they were rebellious, but were those the outliers? Were those the
63
people that we see on camera? Was that whole generation rebellious, or were they leaders?
I think a large majority of them. It's almost like this. I'm gonna use this analogy right here.
20 years. Okay.
Watch this. I'm gonna use this analogy. It's almost like black women that see her mother or her grandmother cater to a man, and that mother that she sees, she may go through some things or whatever, but her husband staying married for 50 and 40 and 60 years. But that black woman is looking at her mama and she looking at it like, oh, well, she didn't get to live her life. She didn't get to be a lawyer. She didn't get to be a doctor. Ain't nobody holding me down like that. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So it's rebellion that I'm not going through that. And so you come with this attitude like I'm gonna do what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And so what it does is it makes you selfish because now you don't move for the family, you move for yourself.
Yeah.
And so this is what happens when the grandmama leaves and the grandfather leaves. It happens in every black family. Everybody splits. Yeah. Think about it. They stood for togetherness. They didn't stand for what they wanted. You understand? They didn't stand for what they wanted for themselves. They stood for what the family needed and what was best for the family. And we don't have people like that no more. We have some, but it's very few and far between. And I think that's one of the main reasons why the black community, we can keep pointing at the white man all we want to, but the white man don't make those decisions for us. We don't stick together. That's where I'm at with that. And I think that group of people were rebellious, and we saw them, and we probably took on some of their personality.
Era was when?
Huh?
The 70s, right? Hippie era was the 70s.
Yeah.
Who? Rebelling against the Vietnam War.
Yeah, peace, getting high, nakedness, sex, drugs, PCP, Crack came a little later, you know what I mean?
So that was the intro. That was the
I'm just saying, free love. I don't care about them kids. Fuck them kids. I'm outside. I want to get boned. That's what they was on that.
Jenny from
they was on that. That's a fact.
What was it? Forrest Gump. Jenny from Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We can sit here and act like that ain't the case, but drugs start setting in heavy. You know what I mean? And it was a lot of selfish decisions being made.
But see, the war on drugs. Let me see how many people they locked up. That started in 1971.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the Vietnam War.
Right at the end of the Vietnam War. That's what I'm telling you.
So you send all of the black men to war, and then you pump them with drugs when they get back.
Well.
And then
they didn't get pumped.
I mean,
they didn't get pumped with drugs. They wanted to get high.
White boys got it.
Yeah, they
The
ain't
white
get pumped
boys
because
got-
they didn't get through on the ground and
The
drugs
white boys,
when they
the
out,
white,
they want to get hot.
the white boys had cocaine. They had cocaine.
Man,
The black people, because they couldn't
everybody had
afford it, they
cocaine.
had crack.
No, when you was
early
when you was in the war, it wasn't no crack. You was
Yeah,
getting
that
that
wasn't
pure,
that. It was
that pure vita,
Which-
or whatever it's called. But that's another word for something else. That means peace and grace.
No,
or
it's
something
that
like
one video they be
That
showing the
mean
white
peace and
people.
grace, pure vita.
They be showing that one video of white people in the 80s
Green
dancing.
taught me that one.
They be like, this when cocaine was pure because they got rhythm.
Yeah,
They
that's
like they
all
was
that was.
moving. I'm
But
like,
but
okay.
see, I need us as black people to stop saying what they did, because it's almost like we can use the same excuse to say, well, this is why 30% of people stay together in the black community. Well, when it was some hard times, it was 80% of them. They stayed together. They didn't use the white man as an excuse to leave each other.
Yeah, but I think those things are significant and are important, because
They are.
when you break down, how do you break down the black family?
On what level? What do you mean?
First.
How do you break down? What's the easiest way to
Cut the
break
head
down
off the snake.
Oh no, you saying through the woman?
through the
Cut the head
man?
off the snake.
That's
The
why I
head.
say you take out
Cut
the
the
head.
head
You
off
take
the
the
snake.
man.
That's the man. You take the man out, you're done.
So, like, what we saw in a lot of our homes and a lot of our parents' homes, I could look at one of my parents and say that's how they grew up, without a father and his father in the home.
Did the woman have a choice though?
Did
Because
women have a choice?
the government knocked on her door and say, hey, you either take these benefits or your man gotta go.
Absolutely. But they were also taking the men off the streets in Lowe's.
Well, they were in the house first. And then they got a knock on the door and say, hey, we got government assistance for you. Do you want it or no? He can't stay here if we give it to you. That's a choice that some people made. Can't say the white man made me do this, because the white man didn't make you make that choice. You said, I want this government assistance.
He set up a honey pot. He set up a trash.
It's almost like Adam and Eve. The Adam and Eve story with the serpent. The serpent didn't make nobody do nothing. He just laid out this situation like, hey, this tastes amazing.
He manipulated them.
You should bite it. A lot of them did.
He manipulated them. But all in all, I think these things do have major effects on where we are.
I agree with that, 100%.
Black people, no matter whose fault it is or who the blame is, I think acknowledging that they had a significant impact on like who we are today as a group of people, as a collective, and where we are also today. Because like, even if you just think about, if we just go back to slavery, when we were in chains and building these empires that still exist today, like we like to acknowledge that we are not only behind because of our actions, but we are behind because we built other empires and then had to build ours from scratch, get it burned down, and then build it again. Like,
I can smoke a bag of that.
That's significant to our people. So like, yeah, it has impact. Now, if we fast forward all the way to today, I think it's important, because even I had to recognize that with all of these situations, with all of these causes, there's an effect. And today the effect is there are kids in these hoods, in these cities, that really like they believe that the only way they can get out of the hood
is hooping,
drugs, or
ball.
Like that's the only way that it can work, because that's from what they see. They might see their daddy strung out. They might not see their dad there at all. They might not. They see their mom struggling. Might be working 2, 3, 4 jobs, and so they like, man, the only way I could really make it through is if I take this bag, flip it, buy it for 15, sell it for 25.
It's really
Like,
bad business.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot.
Well, a lot of.
Hey, you know, they said, I know we finna wrap up, but one of the executive orders, bruh, they said that gangs and drug cartels are now terrorist organizations. I think that's, you know what I'm saying? Given that we have been disproportionately targeted by the police, you know, these drug charges is gonna start being terrorists. You know what I'm saying? I just got to put that out there, man.
I don't know necessarily about the drug charges.
I'm glad you mentioned that because
I mean that's what's
about
in
the
the
EO
that's
and I
what's
didn't
on
read
paper. That's what's on paper.
I gotta read that.
They're labeling the drug cartels and gangs.
Because I thought it was
terrorist
just for
organizations.
cartels. You telling me any domestic gang is also included in that EO?
They're saying gangs and drug
It's said
cartels.
gangs,
They're not
so.
saying you got to be a foreigner. They're saying that they're trying to wipe out anyone who's selling drugs, especially on a mass scale, bro. So that hit me hard. I'm like, look, they've been targeting Black and Mexicans, so we can label this that it's about immigrants. But when these terrorist charges start coming,
but it's about illegal immigrants though. Like that's
bro, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me.
This is in the border. This is in the border control executive order.
But they're still labeling gangs and drug cartels.
He's talking about. I mean, y'all essentially talking about the same thing, but
Trump specified drugs are coming across the border.
He didn't say drugs
they're
limiting.
I gotta read the language of that because if you make that blanket gang term just blanket, it doesn't associate with cartels, foreign and domestic, some sort of language like that. It's just like gangs.
It didn't say foreign and domestic though. It said human trafficking, drug trafficking illegally across the border.
And it also mentioned gangs too.
Right, but
it also mentioned gangs.
It's specifically those gangs that are human trafficking and drug trafficking across the border. Because this is in the border control. And you
got to understand though, a lot of domestic homegrown American gangs work with
them.
Bringing
it,
but this is John. They're not talking about a war. It's not a war on drugs.
They're saying if you, they're not labeling it as a war on drugs, but it can turn into it. They're
but
saying
it can turn it when the language is there. But
it's not a war on drugs, but that's where it's going.
Which one is it? Because we can look it up.
That's one of my fears. They're saying if you engage or help these organizations, you could be wrapped up in a terrorist. And they're using the Patriot Act, bro.
But watch this. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. So let me ask y'all this: do y'all have a problem with that?
No.
Do you have a problem with that, Jay Clark? So, because I was going to go somewhere with that real quick. So
you know what? I ain't gonna say I have a problem. I
got a problem for personal reasons.
I have a problem where it could go because I know that we've been disproportionately targeted by police, and I know that's just a fact. So you can say that it's for international or foreigners or whatever, but there's more of that domestically connected to international markets than we want to admit when we talk about it. Like,
I think.
Wait, which order is this though?
Hold on. Before. Wait. I think that the number that I just saw a couple of days ago with the amount of fentanyl in the last 4 years being at a 600% rate, that's alarming. And majority of the fentanyl comes from either China or Mexico.
Through China.
We got to crack down.
Yeah.
And I know a whole lot of people that know OD.
Yeah.
More than I probably should. But I know a lot of them. I'm sure y'all know some people that OD.
100%.
Now, come on, man. Now, here's the thing. We worried about what it may look like for who doing this, that, and the third. No, man. We ain't doing no stepped on dope. And that's what's going on. There's dope getting stepped on and people dying. Let's keep it real.
That's a fact.
I'm saying stop stepping on dope.
I am worried about Lil Pookie and them, admittedly, because I just know it's gonna be.
But I don't think this again. I don't.
That's what I'm saying. Quit trying to stretch your dollar because that's all it is. You stretching your dollar.
And you not about to outsell Walgreens. That's been always my thing.
No, ain't nobody outselling Big Pharma. Big Pharma is the biggest.
But I don't think I don't think this is the same. I don't think the incentive in the war or who he declared war on. It had to do with. That's why I'm trying. I want to find the actual.
He didn't declare war.
It's the fishnet, bro. Like it's the same as if you get pulled over with a illegal immigrant that got 3 murder cases. If you get pulled over and the illegal immigrant driver, he got 3 murder cases and no green card, and you ain't got no green card, you ain't got no murder cases, but your ass might get deported. Like it's not that.
Right, but if you're an American citizen, they're not going to deport you. Where they going?
I'm saying black domestic. If this is the case, that means all the GDs, Vice Lords, Stone, whoever you know, Bloods, whoever that's wrapped up working with these cartels, distro this stuff is going to get wrapped up in it too. So that's people you made.
They are at risk. They are.
That's war on drugs.
That's what I'm saying. That's what can come from something like this.
Well, get a job and quit selling dope.
I agree with you.
Like, what are we talking?
That's what I'm saying.
It sounds like y'all. Look,
I'm just saying we got to put the info out there.
Hell.
I'm saying we got to put it out there.
I mean, we on the screen, you know. Hell.
Which Jay Clark? Which order is this that it talks about that?
I don't know what number it is, but I did hear it out of his own mouth.
I just saw
it too, but the reference in which I heard it was talking about border control. He was talking about border control.
I hear you on that. It is focused on border control.
He emphasized border
control.
Language
within it is saying that gangs and cartels.
He did mention gangs,
but he also named specific gangs. He named specific.
Are there specific gangs named in there?
I didn't see that.
I don't know about the order. No, I don't know about the order, but I know his words and what he spoke. Was he named specific families that he knows is operating?
This is what y'all gotta
see that.
Even though you ain't gonna put no family names in
I didn't see that.
Okay, hold on. I find it.
Yeah,
those are the loopholes that come.
I remember hearing him say a specific family.
Orders.
So you saying he gonna put the Mendez family in the executive order?
Listen.
No, not in the order. I'm just saying that's what
he's trying to get rid of. Cartels though. He's trying to get rid. But see, here's the thing though.
We just said they're gonna get wrapped up in it.
He trying to get rid of cartels altogether. And then he said that. Now,
I don't think they targeted, but if you selling Big White and I don't know, I would Texas is the first state to come to mind.
When they start following the line of where the fentanyl came from, they're gonna be wrapped up in it, is what I'm saying.
And you're a cook. And if they throw that terrorist label on there, they go 10x your time. 10x for sure. You're cooked.
So what's the difference in so when I'm asking y'all, because it sounds like y'all concerned. So what's the difference in sex trafficking?
What you mean by that?
I ain't got no sympathy for sex trafficking.
So why do y'all have sympathy for somebody?
I grew up around a lot of drug people. I knew.
I think because I know people that did it.
Well, wait, no. You saying you know good. How many people? All right. So, look, when somebody adds fentanyl in their drugs,
I don't got no sympathy.
I ain't talking about fentanyl dealers.
I don't got no sympathy for no fentanyl.
I'm just talking about drug dealers.
Okay, well that's what I'm saying.
Well, the whole you can get wrapped up in a case like that, even if you're not selling those stuff.
His whole agenda is
based off fentanyl.
I
see.
Right,
that's the agenda.
All I'm saying is,
maybe
these sort of cases is collateral. You know what I'm saying? Even if you ain't on that, you might get wrapped up.
It may be some of a trickle down effect, but the focal point is fentanyl.
Right.
And so that's why I'm breaking down the reason why people use that. Okay, that's why, because I was finna say y'all.
I'm talking about just regular drugs.
Step. You a damn lie this evening. I don't feel sorry. You stretching. I know people that you trying to stretch your dollar, don't stretch your dollar.
That's some other.
That's death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and now you got people asking for it, man. Let me get that one, No, people dying off that, bro.
Yeah.
On the real. I don't
But yeah,
feel.
no, I know I gotta get to bed.
Yeah, we got
11:30.
Hell yeah.
And
It was a pleasure.
definitely we I mean I enjoyed this.
Yeah, we gotta do this again.
Yeah, we definitely gotta do it again and be
Next
consistent.
time we'll bring some people up. I saw a few comments.
Yeah, I just seen a few.
You see Rube?
Yeah,
Where you see comments at? Where they at?
What do you say?
Yeah, we had a few comments. I could show them. I just realized I could show them too. He was talking about the late 60s. This is
Oh, that's tough. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I could show different comments. And he was saying that cocaine was in the 80s. And then the Ruben comments that I showed earlier. But yeah, no, I definitely I had a good time. And I think it was honestly a productive conversation. I think we talked about some good stuff. Hopefully some people watched it and some things made a little bit more sense. I think the more we do it, and again, we're not going to agree with everything. I'm not going to agree with everything that this administration. I don't agree with everything you're doing now.
We ain't supposed to.
But what I don't want to see is fear because of misinformation. That's what honestly. That's all I'm trying to combat is misinformation.
They not deporting me nowhere. I don't know who was peddling that lie.
Who
black
said
people,
that?
I just hate black people saying we might get deported with the other folks. Like, bro, we from here.
I can't say the N word on here.
I got a passport. I got World War II documents of my grandparents. Social security card.
Why are you even saying that, dog? You grew up. You were born in St. Mary's. Where you gonna get deployed to? I don't.
This is what I'm trying to explain to people.
But
like, why are you worried if you know you have those kind of documents?
That's stupid.
They turn around.
Talking about no, that ain't
crazy.
But all right, y'all.
Yeah, let me get off this camera because I'm about to cuss.
Yeah, go ahead. You another
boy. He was born in St. Mary's.
All right. Peace.
All right,
All right.
Check y'all. No.